By the early 17th century, London had already become one of Europe's largest urban centers, home to nearly 500,000 people. It was a crowded and restless city, shaped by commerce, constant movement, and above all, by the River Thames. Using modern AI tools, we can now step inside historic paintings and engravings, shifting perspective and exploring these scenes in ways their original creators could never have imagined. One place that reveals the character of early modern London more clearly than almost any other is Old London Bridge. By the 1600s, the bridge was no longer simply a means of crossing the river. It had become a fully built environment, suspended above the Thames. Rows of houses, shops, chapels, and storehouses lined both sides so tightly that from afar, the bridge appeared more like a street or neighborhood than a piece of infrastructure. Beneath this dense construction, the bridge rested on narrow stone arches supported by massive piers. These piers restricted the tidal flow of the river, creating violent currents that made navigation extremely dangerous. Boats attempting to pass through the arches were often caught in sudden surges, and accidents were frequent. Life on the bridge was noisy, crowded, and risky. Buildings rose several stories high, jutting outward over the roadway. Residents lived above a constant stream of carts, animals, and pedestrians. Fire was an ever-present threat, congestion unavoidable, yet generations continued to live and work here. The Thames itself served as London's primary highway. Barges, ferries, and merchant vessels crowded the water, transporting grain, coal, timber, cloth, and goods from across England and beyond. Old London Bridge stood at the intersection of local daily life and global trade. During particularly harsh winters, the restricted flow beneath the bridge could even contribute to the river freezing. In these rare moments, people walked and gathered on the ice below, a startling contrast to the danger the river usually posed. Approaching the bridge from the north, travelers passed near the Church of St. Magnus the Martyr, entering the city through one of its most symbolic gateways. By the mid-18th century, however, the bridge had deteriorated beyond repair. Between 1756 and 1762, the buildings that had crowded it for centuries were finally removed. What made Old London Bridge remarkable was not just its engineering, but its role as a lived space. It functioned at once as infrastructure, marketplace, neighborhood, and symbol of authority. For centuries, it remained unavoidable, the only permanent crossing of the Thames in central London. Elsewhere, London's landscape told a story of contrast and transformation. In the late 17th century, Buckingham House stood on the western edge of the city, surrounded by gardens and open land, long before it evolved into Buckingham Palace. In September 1666, disaster reshaped the city entirely. A small fire ignited in a timber-built neighborhood spread rapidly through narrow streets and tightly packed buildings. Within days, much of medieval London lay in ruins. The Great Fire destroyed landmarks, neighborhoods, and livelihoods, but it also forced the city to rebuild and reinvent itself. Rising above the river, the Tower of London remained a symbol of royal authority. By the 1600s, it served as fortress, treasury, arsenal, and prison, holding both the crown jewels and prisoners accused of treason. Scenes like Cheapside in 1638 reveal another side of the city. Streets transformed into stages for royal ceremony. Processions, monuments, and crowds filled these spaces, even as political and religious tensions quietly grew beneath the spectacle. Westminster formed the heart of political and spiritual power. Parliament, royal courts, abbey, and river landings converged here, linked by the Thames, which carried messengers, politicians, and citizens directly to the seat of authority. Royal life extended beyond the city center to places like Whitehall and Richmond Palace. These riverside residences reflected both the power of the monarchy and the desire to escape the city's density. Over time, many of these palaces disappeared, leaving only fragments behind. Standing in modern London, it is easy to forget how layered this city truly is. Yet through these reconstructions, the past feels close again, woven into the streets, the river, and the spaces we still move through today.